Hey, what's going on? My greatest fear, it has to be fear itself, fear of failure. Ever since I was little, I always feared that I may not be successful or I may fail in whatever I was working on. And so that's a legitimate fear, especially someone like me who never really accomplished anything when I was a kid. Okay, most kids can't accomplish anything anyway other than getting good grades and excelling in sports. But coming from an impoverished, home or a broken home, rather broken community, a lot of kids we grow up with the fear of repeating the same things that our parents did that got them into the projects. And so I myself, I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for my family, and I'm sure you don't either. That's my biggest fear. Now, we all have something that we may have in the back of our subconscious mind that we're afraid of, we're terrified, horrified, you know what I'm saying, that this may happen for real. And if you keep thinking about it, it's going to happen. I could sit here and give you countless examples of things that I try to avoid and it ended up happening anyway because I kept thinking about it. I kept feeding, those fears, those thoughts. And that's what I want you guys to understand from this motivational speech or lecture. Just do not feed those thoughts. Don't feed those fears. Yeah, they may cross your mind now and then, but think about it. Think about what you're thinking about. In the heart. The heart is the seat of the soul. That's what Egyptians, ancient Egyptians, all black Egypt. That's what they believed. That the heart was the seat of the soul, and so there's so many different ways to get to the heart, so to speak, that impacts the heart. You have to guard your heart, because all the issues of life comes from the heart. That's a biblical scripture there. So even from back then to now, if we don't, watch our eye gate, our ear, our ear gate, our mouth gate, those, these things, what we see, what we hear, or what we say, those things impacts our heart. And so, and I seen a great post very recently about someone speaking about, what happens when you allow fear, to intervene with your life. What it causes to your brain. How it cripples, parts of your brain to the point where you can't move, you can't think, you can't even keep that rhythm that you had. That momentum is gone because fear has actually, made planted a seed in your head. It hatched and now you can't move forward. Now let me read to you what this quote said. It said, "Overreacting, which fear causes you to overreact. You exerting an excessive amount of energy towards a fear, instantly. So you stop whatever you were passionate about, whatever you working on to move you forward. Now you can't even move forward because you overreacted. Fear has now controlling you, and it's not love or motivation. Now, fear can be a motivator. Don't get it twisted. Fear can be a motivator. It will keep you on your toes and moving forward. So I use, the fear, the energy from the fear to move me forward. So that's what you got to do. Take those fears that you have, and somehow transfer that energy into something else. It will transcend if you put your mind to it. Mind over matter. Mind over matter. Overreacting, it causes hardening of the brain arteries, leading to a decrease in mental power. There's over 100 billion brain cells in our head. Over 100 billion brain cells. So when you activate your faith, you give your faith a job. You know what I'm saying? You may be worried about unemployment, but give your faith employment. You know what I'm saying? Give those brain cells something to do. So by giving your brain cells an active role in your life, which is going to do it anyway, whether you're operating in fear or you're operating under faith or you're operating under love, your brain cells, which are measurable, by the way. When I mean by measurable, it means that there's machines that can count or they can sense how many brain cells. The frequency from your brain is leaving your body. I kid you not. That's how powerful the brain is. Now, when you are operating in fear, now you are putting a bunch of negativity, negative aura, bad energy all around you, and that's what's being created. I like to think about it as steps. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you building steps with your brain cells, moving up, you're using those brain cells to put you down, to depress you, all the way to the point where you don't even want to move. You don't even want to work on what you was working on. You don't even care about it no more. You know what I'm saying? Because fear has actively or successfully taken over your mind, and that's not what you want. You don't want fear to do that. Now, if you're looking behind me, you see three things, maybe more than three things. But you see the poster for my book, Seven Types of King's Desire, which is a very, very powerful book. It may be out by the time you're watching this video, but as of April 20th, and I know a lot of people celebrate some extracurricular activities on this date, but it will be out this summer. Now, my greatest fear about the book is that it's not going to meet the level of expectation that people are anticipating that this book is going to bring. For me personally, I have a international book tour lined up. So I'm praying that everything happens, in order, and therefore, I will be on this tour. You know what I'm saying? Well, that the quality isn't good. So not only did that fear manifest about the quality, because my first book editor, she did a lousy job. So I had to pay another editor to edit the book. And so this cost me quite a bit. It cost me 6-7 months behind schedule. But that's cool though, because I'm not going to let that fear of failure control my destiny or my mind. My destiny is in my hands through my actions. So what did I do? I got a better editor. I'm taking, you know what I'm saying? I took extra precautions, or I'm taking extra steps to make the book even more powerful, even more potent, so to speak. So it's a great book on relationships. A lot more men has been purchasing this book than the women, which I'm very surprised. I was expecting the women to be the ones buying it, but men want to know, okay, so what is it that kings want? So, ladies, gentlemen, kings and queens, definitely support it. You also have a globe behind me, which is I've always wanted a globe. So faith allowed me to acquire the globe. You know what I'm saying? I've been wanting a globe since I was in high school. And then I just got one last week, 2016. I just finally got one. Now, you see the crown there. The crown represents just, being regal. It reminds me, look, you are more important than any of these bills. You are more important than any of these haters. You are important. So you got to remind yourself that you're important. I'm reminding myself I'm important. But you have to do the same, because if you don't, you're going to allow discouragement to stop you from moving forward. Discourage. So you're dissing courage. Therefore, courage won't be able to be utilized in your life. So use encourage. Allow courage in. Encourage, discourage. I operate in encouragement, not discouragement. So you have to, be mindful of those things, because when you are not allowing, yourself to be motivated, to be inspired, you're allowing the enemy to control your destiny. Enemy could be anybody. It could be, the spirit of the devil. It could be co-workers. It could be people in your family, your neighbors, associates. It could be anybody from anywhere. Keep your circle close of those who you believe in, and then they believe in you. And by doing that, now all your brain cells, all those brain cells, there's over 100, some say 200 million, but you have, let's say, 100 million brain cells. You have 5 people who believe in you and who are praying towards the same thing. All faith activated towards the same thing that you're believing in, or you believing in for them, they're believing in for themselves. Now you have 500, possibly 1,000, 100,000 brain cells operating together. That's beautiful. That's powerful. And that's what we gotta, you know what I'm saying, put our minds towards. Not towards the things that we are fearful of, but the things that we are hoping for. Hope. You know, I'm not a prosperity messenger. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit and tell you you're gonna make millions of billions of dollars. You got to tied into my ministry. I do have a ministry. I have a nonprofit organization helping teenagers, young adults, at-risk youth. Visualize their dreams and accomplishing them. By being better students, being better neighbors, being better brothers and sisters, leaders, being the queen, the king. You know what I'm saying? These things are very important in our community. And I'm just tired of seeing so much of our people operating in the spirit of fear and not the spirit of faith. And I just wanted to make sure that you all understood that this is a spiritual battle. And no matter what you do, you're gonna give birth to something. You know what I'm saying? Everything we do, everything manifests after its own kind. Okay? So if you're operating in spirit of fear, then you're giving birth to fear all within your body. They say that's how tumors and headaches and cysts and all these things formulate in our bodies, because things that we're supposed to give birth to and put out into the world, we allow faith to suffocate those things and to die in our bodies. And so they're trying to find a way to express themselves and to get out. And so that's why we have to change that. Give birth to these things, man. What is it? What is it? Is it a business? Is it a book? Is it a master's degree, doctorate degree, a high school diploma, state championships in track and field, basketball, football? What is it that pushes you? Is it to have your own television show? Speaking of shows, my King Kevin show is coming back. So those who used to watch my show a year ago, it's coming back. This year, this summer, along with 7 Queens that Kings Desire. So I am operating in the spirit of faith and courage and power, because I know who I am, and I'm very conscious about who my ancestors were. And that's what we all got to remember and keep in mind. Find something to stand on. Find a biblical scripture or a favorite person in history, a historical figure that you believe in, or you like what they did or they accomplished. Find out what they did, whether it could be Madam C.J. Walker, whether it was Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, Michelle Obama, you know what I'm saying? Queen Nzinga, Queen Aset, whoever. Find someone that you like and follow their steps. Me personally, I follow Johnny Cochran's steps, and how he studied, and he got to law school. I didn't go to law school, but I inspired to go to law school, but I didn't go. You know what I'm saying? I can still go now though. But years later, I have my college degree. I've started multiple businesses. I have a clothing line, which was very successful. A lot of people ask me now, why did I discontinue it? That's a whole nother subject. One Man Army Inc. and One Woman Army, that's the name of the clothing line. But see, I wasn't scared to pursue my dreams and goals. I went for it, and I want you to go for it. Go for your dreams. Don't be scared. The worst that can happen is that you fail. The only failure is the person that did not try. And the Honorable Marcus Garvey once said, if you go before the battle, if you already in your mind believe that you won, you've already won. You've already won. But once you think you're defeated, it's over. In the book, The Art of War, Saint Tzu, I never say his name right, but you guys who read that book, the classic book, book on strategy, he said that the war is already won if you go in it with the attitude that you're going to be victorious. It's the battle. Half the battles it's in the mind. The battle is in the mind. So if you're able to psych yourself up, inspire yourself, encourage yourself, read positive books. This is one positive book from what I heard, The Courage to Believe. This is my first book, y'all. Get it from my website, KevinDorival.com or thecouragetobelieve.com. These things, this is real. This is not no Photoshop book. This is an actual real book. This is real. So it goes from the brain cells again, from what's in your mind to what you manifest into the world, speaking to the universe. So stay positive. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, and stand on something firm, on the foundation. You know what I'm saying? Find something to read or a quote of someone you believe in or inspired you, and go for it. I hope this encourages you. I'm King Kevin. Be blessed.